Videocon Cup Test Series, the third and final Test match. And India have had a good first session. They've all enjoyed it so far. First session shortened by half an hour. And that's how the Indians have gone. Won the toss yesterday, elected to bat first. Lakshman completed his century, 104 of 237 deliveries before he was bowled by Maroof, the only success for Sri Lanka. And Irfan Pathan there reaching his half century, 66, and with him Ajit Agarkar. Bowling for Sri Lanka, the main bowlers have all picked up wickets, 3 to Muralidharan, 2 to Malinga, and 1 each to Maroof and Bandara. So the Indian batsmen going out after the lunch break. During the first session, previous Lakshman kept going from where he left. A pull for 4, and a lovely drive of Muralidharan, timing the ball perfectly, and this time it's off Bandara. Straight drive past the bowler. Maroof feeling it there. Lovely square drive. And so delicately placed. Backward of that point fielder. And yet another one. Taking the dusra from Muralidharan down to third man. With Malinga off his pads there. Another one to reach his century. Delightful innings. A very patient one from Lakshman. Very good afternoon to you, Arun.
Good afternoon, Ranil, and a very good afternoon to all our viewers. This has been a very fruitful session for India. Couldn't have asked for more. 20 overs, 72 runs for the loss of just 1 wicket. His problems are not over, although he's got Lakshman back into the pavilion. But Atapattu will now want to wrap things up very quickly, because this is actually now reaching the realms of the very, very difficult for him to square the series. If India reach anywhere close to 375, I can't really see them losing from there. So, worries for Atapattu, and this is one of them. Irfan Pathan, 66 not out. What a revelation he's been in this series, in the one-dayers before this series, and now as a batsman.
The ball still pretty new, the second one. And here's Lasith Malinga with the first delivery of the afternoon. Nicely timed, and it's Muralidharan using his feet. Just restricts that to 1 run. So India off the mark straight away.
Ajit Agarkar came in and has just been there for 11 deliveries, but he's got on to 5. He's shown some aggressive intent. He's going to play his natural game. He's got a high back lift, great flowing style. He has 100 in Test cricket as well. Two slips in a gully.
Chance of a run out, but he just couldn't get the ball onto the stumps. Hesitation, and then they decided to go through with it. Jahan Mubarak got himself into a bit of a tangle.
This is a bit of a miss. This should have been over for Pathan. He couldn't quite just get the back flick to the stumps. Bit of hesitation there. If Pathan had gone, he would have reached, but that hesitancy is something that might have cost him his wicket, but it didn't. Couldn't quite pick it up and then flick it backhanded onto the stumps, Mubarak. But certainly an opportunity lost there.
That's played nicely. It was short, it was there to be hit. And Irfan Pathan swiveling nicely onto the back foot, spanks it for 4.
This is great confidence and ability. Quite a magnificent hit, slightly short, bowled at the mid 130s, beautifully executed there by Irfan Pathan. Continues his ride to being one of at least being termed as an all-rounder.
Shape to play the pull. This time it was shorter, it bounced higher, and it's very evident now, Arun, that he's picking the short one.
Yes, absolutely. He got hit very badly on his left, well, shoulder blade. That's the one he's keeping on, sort of stretching. We don't know what kind of an effect that would have on his bowling, but at the moment he's looking very aggressive and self-assured.
That was a slower delivery. He's concealed that pretty well. Not too much of movement for him, Arun, but he's tried his variations, the Yorker, the slower one, the bouncer.
It's the bouncer. It's the rising delivery. This is how he got hit on the point of his shoulder. Now, God knows what damage that could have done. That was a vicious blow. Yes, that hurt. So he's continuing to stretch that area. For the moment, it's not affecting his batting, that's for sure.
Plays the pull shot again. There's a man in the deep. That'll restrict it to a run, and that's the end of the over. 326 for 7.
Over.
Two healthy partnerships have taken India from 97 for 5 to this present score, 326 for 7.
I see Kumble and then Harbhajan. Harbhajan number 11. In fact, I was this morning talking to him. He said, you know, why don't you just mention, why me at 11? So he's itching to get into the middle, Harbhajan. So I promised him that I would mention it. So there's a bit of sense of humor even at number 11.
I suppose Murli will say the same thing if you put him at number 11.
Yeah, there's a healthy rivalry amongst the bowlers as to who's going to come 10 and who's going to be 11. But there's quite a bit of batting strength still to come. Now that's the new advances that the Indian team has made. This lower middle order. More runs. They're planning to come for the second, and they do.
Yes, on that topic, Arun, it's a real bonus, a huge bonus to have Dhoni and Pathan there in the middle.
Absolutely. Not long ago that the Indian team, once they lost 5 or 6, would be wrapped up for about 50. Well, that is one fan. Pathan written all over him. That can't be. It's not in the rule books. It has to have pitched outside the leg stump. Leg buys. The umpire says that leg buys.
Maroof possibly thought it was in line with leg stump, but clearly quite a few inches outside leg stump, and may have probably still missed leg stump even after hitting the pad. So very correct decision by umpire Nadeem Gowri. They've been tested, the umpires, and Maroof has been good. His first spell was good. He's continued with the second new ball. He's kept it tight, Maroof, and he deservedly got the wicket of Laxman.
Yes, he's the one. He's the only one who, in fact, when you compare him to Malinga, we didn't see the ball move at all from Malinga, new or old. But he's got some movement. He'd love to get a yard of pace, though. become really, really very effective. 2 for 92 for Malinga. Maruf, that very special wicket of Lakshman.
Short, and it's chopped down to third man. Ajit Agaka advances to 7 of 14 deliveries, so he too has been striking the ball quite well since he's got out there.
This is a good shot. That high back lift. Always looks good when he's batting. He should actually be a lot more consistent with the bat, Ajit Agarkar. Now he can take a leaf out of Irfan Pathan's book. The ability is definitely there. He's got to now fashion it, believe in himself, and get those big scores that he's so capable of. Big means at the position that he's batting, even a 30 or a 40 is a big score. And he's very, very capable of achieving it.
Nicely timed. 3:37 the score, so India very firmly placed. And Muralidharan will come on fairly soon. Lot rests on him to try and dismiss the tail of the Indians.
Yes, not too much of a tail now that you have Pathan and Dhoni. Dhoni at 7, Pathan 8, Ajit Agarkar 9, Harbhajan and Kumble to follow. So this is real good signs for the Indian batting order. End of the over, 330 for 7.
.330 for 7. So a little partnership building up between Pathan and Agaka. 22 runs, and it's been done pretty quickly, of 27 deliveries and 100 overs completed in the innings. Very concerned Marwanatapattu. Take the single quickly. 1-1 was the call. No sooner the ball was played, the fielder is fairly deep. Sri Lankans going pretty defensive now. Irfan Pathan has been striking the ball well. So just the one slip and a very wide gully. And then there is a backward point, extra cover and mid-off on the offside. 6 and 3. Mid-on, and then 2 men down in the deep on the leg side. No ball called, and he's overstepped.
This is the 9th no ball for Malinga. He's bowled a very wide one as well that went for 4. So that's 5 wides and 9 no balls, 14 runs conceded. Every time he tries to put in that extra pace. Now that's what he's reliant on, pace, and he's got enough of it. By far the fastest bowler on both sides.
Hits him again, and yet again he didn't seem to pick it up.
Well, this is the problem with the wicket, where when it's pitched short, you're not sure whether it's going to bounce enough or not. And he wanted to go under it, he couldn't. It didn't ride. So now he's been pinned to the wall, both shoulders. Well, he's... Yes, that must have hurt again. So he's taking a bit of a beating there, Irfan.
Goes for it, it's in the air, but then goes safely down to the fielder at deep backward square leg. So Malinga's going to keep testing with the short delivery, because he's got two men down in the deep. That's one of them who's coming forward for the right-hand batsman, and there's one further down. He'll be third man now, but he was at deep fine leg.
I think it's the safer bet. You're not sure on how much the ball is going to rise. He had that covered, rolled the wrist over the ball. So best to shape for the pull, and if it's very much higher than anticipated, then you can think of letting it go. But otherwise, better off pulling the ball, even though they have those two in the deep. I think the deep square leg fielder is just too deep for Irfan Pathan. He's not hitting it too hard. But for the moment, they have the two fielders for Ajit Agarkar as well.
So two down on the deep square leg, deep fine leg, and that's the plan now. Hold it short. Malinga's got a fairly new ball in his hand. It's hard.
Bowl it short. Maybe he'll hook and miss hit, and if he doesn't, he probably hit him on the shoulder.
So this over has been a quiet one for the Indians. They've been going at a good rate, this pair, but just the two singles, one no ball. 25 of 33 deliveries. And of course, 333 for 7. Triple Nelson. Attempted Yorker, nicely dug out, and they'll get the single for it. At the end of the over, 334 for 7.
Let the bass drum go like this.
Well, that's Mr. Dalmia in the center. He's the ex-board president, a former board president. With him is Mr. Amin on the right. He is the president of Gujarat Cricket Association. And to the left is Mr. Murarka, former vice president of the BCCI. All here witnessing the game. And there is Mr. Thakur at the back with the mobile phone. He represents Himachal Pradesh. So Anurag Thakur.
Their phones suddenly began to ring, Arun.
Well, he's been such a stalwart of the Indian cricket administration. Enjoying the game here. This is a great fight back by the Indians, and they would be very, very satisfied with the proceedings.
Was in there for a while. Played it on the up, getting on the back foot. Indication that there is still time to play the back foot shots. Maroof pulling it down short. Nice stroke from Agarkar. He's been timing the ball well. Using that top hand to the fullest when he's playing it in front of the wicket.
Well, talking of recoveries, this has been a tremendous recovery by India. There have been a few in the past, but generally few and far between because of the fact that the Indian tail never quite wagged. 5 for 75 it was against the West Indies in Kingston in 1971, and they reached 387. Mr. Sardesai and Eknath Solkar, they headed the recovery. Then again in 71 in Bridgetown, it's 5 for 69, they reached 347. Again, Eknath Solkar was part of that recovery. And more recently, in fact, in 1997 in Cape Town, 5 for 58, and India ended with 359. There was a big partnership between Azhar and Tendulkar on that occasion. But those were established big names. Here it is actually the lower middle order along with Lakshman.
No need to mention who would have done the damage at the start, Arun. The West Indies always have had that pace battery in the past. And in home conditions they've been very, very tough to handle. Made over by Maruf, 334 for 7. Maruf and Malinga in the side because Was and Dilara Fernando both indisposed. Malinga may have got a game, but they've been tested, they've been used, both bowling well in excess of 20 overs. And now we see a change in the bowling. It's going to be Muralidharan. He's coming in with the ball just 8 overs old. So 10 overs old. So it's a pretty hard ball. He's already bowled 28 overs.
Well, Attappattu was relying very heavily on Murli to get the breakthrough early morning. Didn't happen. And now he's got a hard newish ball. At least will hasten off this track, which has been very slow and getting slower. That's been part of the problem of why they haven't been able to dislodge the Indians so far. There's really no work off the wicket. Enough time for the batsman, if beaten in the air, to go back and read him off the wicket.
So he's decided to come around the wicket. He's done a lot of bowling over the wicket to the left-hander, but straight away he's come around the wicket. So pretty confident Irfan Pathan playing Muralidharan, who got the better of him earlier in this series.
Take a look at the flight of the ball. Murli doesn't quite use the seam. It's generally a scrambled seam. We were talking this morning about balls and the Kookaburra ball and the SG ball. Well, he said that this particular ball that's being used in this test match suits Harbhajan more than him, because he says that he doesn't quite land the ball on the seam. In fact, it normally is relying on it landing on the different surfaces. That's why you see the scrambled seams. So he prefers to bowl with the Kookaburra ball rather than the SG ball. And Harbhajan, because of the pronounced seam on this ball, the SG ball, is easier for him to grip. He lands the ball on the seam and gets more work off the wicket because of the fact that he lands the ball on the seam. That's Harbhajan. And that's the difference between Murli and Harbhajan. So we've just shown you the scrambled seam with Murli bowling. He also feels that this ball gets a little softer, quicker than the Kookaburra ball. It's 334 for 7. It's 334 for 7, and to continue where I left off, let me say that's an opinion by Murli about the two balls that are used in international cricket. Harbhajan has a different view, but certainly psychologically Murli prefers to, or he feels more comfortable with the Kookaburra ball. Probably works for him. It's no reflection on how good or bad the ball is. They're both international standard balls, both ICC approved and pretty effective in international cricket. Great quality on both.
Yes, it's a matter of habit. Quite often he's bowled heaps and heaps with the Kookaburra, and the amount of overs that he's bowled with that obviously makes him feel that that's the better ball. But as you mentioned, Arun, that's definitely individual preference. And you did also mention that Harbhajan prefers the SG. It's always good to have a clear mind on this as a bowler, because then you don't get tied down and you don't have fancies, and it doesn't enter your mind. Just try and work on the ball you've got in your hand.
Absolutely, absolutely. Sort of adds another dimension to the sport when you go to another country, and would add to the home advantage, I guess. Kumble and Harbhajan would prefer to be bowling with this ball. They're used to this ball. Subtle variations. I mean, it's not as though they're vastly different, these balls used in world cricket. Like you said, it's basically more psychological, basically more how you feel about it. So you're absolutely right. Don't let these little things enter your mind at all, lest they become a burden. And I also would like to add that the white balls in India were also Kookaburra. The Kookaburra balls used in the one-dayers, and Murli wasn't quite successful there either. So maybe he's just going through a bit of a phase in his rather prolific career. Yet he had 7 for 100. He had the Indians on the mat with this SG ball in the previous test.
I don't see any reason why you should worry about the ball. He's got wickets all around the world. But however good you are, however much you've achieved, there are things that remain in your mind. And now the ball is again the topic of conversation. Arun, this time I think the Sri Lankans did complain earlier that it was a little bit out of shape. Murli was one of those who did make that earlier complaint, so possibly it has gone a little bit off shape.
Well, Murli certainly is particular, if not finicky. Now again, one of those, it's got to penetrate, the other's not supposed to go through. But they've asked for a change. So it's into the 14th over. It happened in the 51st over on the first occasion. Ball was changed.
It's a fair distance away, that ball, but from the looks of it, it seemed to have lost a bit of its shape, been knocked around a bit, but certainly the umpires are convinced that it's gone somewhat out of shape, so they're looking for another ball. And most likely we'll have to get a new one and rub it in, from what I feel. Let's wait and see. This would be the fourth ball, as Mohan Das has just informed us, to be taken in this innings. So there you go, a fairly newish one, getting a bit of the sandpaper treatment. But Arun, you never can get it to that original condition, because most of the wear happens with the ball hitting the turf, hitting the bat.
Exactly, that's what softens it a bit. So it's going to be a harder ball. Here's another young cricketer up and coming.
The ball's been changed. Maroof has straight away got a bit of saliva on it and is giving it a bit of a polish. He wants one side with the shine on. Here he goes. Big movement straight away.
See, that's what happens when you change the ball. You're never going to get the ball exactly similar. So it's sort of testing time for the batsman. They've got to wait, readjust, actually assess what this ball is capable of doing. Although that was almost wide, and it's always easier to swing the ball when it's as wide as that. But it's a little hard. I'm sure at least Maroof is going to relish the opportunity.
End of the third consecutive maiden. India 334 for 7.
I'm crazy about you, pretty woman. Hey, pretty woman. Dekho, dekho now, pretty woman.
कल हो ना हो सिर्फ सोनी एंटरटेनमेंट टेलीविजन एशिया पर।
Pretty woman, देखते हो ना, pretty woman. Pretty woman.
.334 for 7. Muttai Muralidharan will continue with his off breaks and those runs. It's been a very tough battle since the lunch break. A change in commentary now. It's Javagal Srinath and Lakshman Sivaramakrishnan.
Thank you, Ranil. Indians continuing the good work. 15 runs coming after lunchtime, but the important thing is another partnership is building. 26 between these two. Pathan on 75, Agarkar on 9. Well, he's picked the dusra. The intention was to clear mid-on, but the timing not good enough. But still survives.
Goes hard this time, Irfan Pathan. And a similar shot. But this time he finds the mid-wicket boundary. They look for two and they get it. Good running between the wickets. Irfan Pathan has spent 209 minutes at the wicket. Oh, the fielder at the long leg. I beg your pardon, deep mid-wicket. Could have done a better job. This partnership is slowly building. 28 runs already. And Irfan Pathan. Oh! 210 minutes. That talks about his temperament, patience. You've got to be aggressive, you've got to be timid on occasions.
Again being aggressive, just get the singles, man in the deep. He'll keep strike. Pathan is 337 for 7.
මයම් බෝලෙට ඇටැක් කරා මයම් වටෙන් යන්න එපා.
The last 2 wickets have added 240 runs, and India are in a good position. 337 for 7. And Christmas around the corner. Santa's here. Expect a gift. It's got to be watchful. Pathan was dismissed in Delhi in a similar fashion of Dilhara Fernando in the 90s.
Maruf has moved the ball on most of the times, and this time a big deviation.
A lot of men on the offside, so the line is predictable. He's standing on leg stump, Pathan. He needs to change his stance to middle. Good take by Sangakkara. But it's very predictable for me looking at the field. The kind of line that Parvez Maroof is bowling. There's a man in the deep to save the boundary, 4 in the ring saving the single. The man it slips. Obviously he can't bowl straight, he can't even bowl middle and off because the Indians are good working it on the onside. So maybe he needs to shift where he's standing at the moment and get closer to the ball and create scoring opportunities.
And from the Maru's point of view, he can change his guard, come round the wicket. He hasn't tried anything round the wicket to either of the batsmen. On Indian wickets, when there's not much happening, it is better you keep wicket to wicket, and if it's a left-hander batting at the other end, you're better off bowling into the stumps, and you can be more consistent when you come round the wicket.
And again you'll find that they will play with the patience of Irfan Pathan. Got to 90 in quick time, then he was dismissed eventually for 93, but that's the period when they dried out the runs. Similar situation here. They're doing it much earlier though. Defensive 53.5%, so he's willing to wait for the loose deliveries. High percentage when provided with on the offside. This is asking for trouble. 7 men on the offside and you stray onto his pads. He is a good player to pick up a boundary.
It's hard work for Maroof. He's been bowling a lot, 24th over. And this time he's off target. Pathan will not miss on those opportunities. Flicked very well.
Good use of the wrist, generating power. Also had reasons to smile, didn't bother running. 12 boundaries. Also becomes the highest run scorer, batting at number 8 against Sri Lanka. That's for an Indian. .341 for 7. VPS Lakshman, 9th test match 100 for him, and Dhoni played an important innings yesterday. And Irfan Pathan and Ajit Agarkar still looking solid. Oh, Pathan was struck a couple of times in the body. by Malinga. He still fought hard. Well made 82 for him. The over rate once again being very slow. Murali will continue. 31st over. Catch was the call.
Ajit has not played Muralidharan so far, and it will be interesting to watch how he's going to handle Murali. He's always good to the newcomers. Murali can really fox them. This would be a good contest. Talking about Irfan, he spent 210 minutes in the Delhi Test match. Drives this time, times beautifully, finds the gap between covers and mid-off and reaches the fence. Fantastic four. Ajit Agarkar gets his first boundary.
Well, he can bat pretty well. Nicely tossed to delivery, had to get to the pitch to make sure he wasn't hitting against the deviation or turn. Good stride out and good transfer of body weight into the shot.
This partnership slowly building. 37 of 68 balls. Talking about Irfan, he spent 210 minutes in Delhi, got 93 runs, and it is followed with another massive innings of 217 minutes still batting. And has scored 82. So enormous consistency. And when you talk about time, Test match batting is a function of time anyway. And 82, 93, talking about time, 210 minutes, 7 hours. Drive this time straight to the fielder. End of the over. 3:45 for 7 India.
Batting is all about partnerships. 31, 21, 36, just dying there. But 86 was a good one between Lakshman and Dhoni. And Lakshman and Pathan, 125, the best so far. So the low order contributing. So Murali and Marvin Attapada having a chat. It's been two minds whether to attack or defend. Maruf will continue. That could be close and he's gone. Maruf has bowled extremely well yesterday, wasn't rewarded, but today he's picked up Lakshman with a beauty. And now Pathan, good delivery.
Reaping rewards for hard work, Maruf. Bowled so well in this match, and he's plumb in front. Pitching in line with the stumps and hitting just below the knee roll. And Maruf is excited. Good wicket for Sri Lanka. Pathan departs after a magnificent knock of 82. 162 balls. Top class bowling by Maruf this time. 3:45 for 8 India.
जश्न के रंग में ढला है समा, जोश में है हर सितारा, मचलते तरानों पर झूमते कदम, ये है ITA सितारों की धूम। सिर्फ सोनी एंटरटेनमेंट टेलीविजन एशिया पर।
विक्रम की शादी होगी पर उसके ही हाथों उसकी पत्नी की हत्या भी होगी। फिर भी वो विवाहित रहेगा, पर अद्भुत बात यह है कि उसकी दूसरी शादी नहीं होगी। कैसे होगा ये सब? देवी सिर्फ सोनी एंटरटेनमेंट टेलीविजन एशिया पर।
Great moment for Anil Kumble, playing his 100th test match for India. Just the 5th Indian to do so. Very handy with the bat, 350s, best of 88 versus South Africa at Eden Gardens. He's got 6 first-class 100s, Anil Kumble. That 88 against South Africa was in 1996. He's up against Maruf. I think it is a very good decision, the last one. Patan once again missing out on what he would have thought was a certain 100. But Nadeem Gowri, the umpire, always not an easy thing to do. Pitched in line, yes it certainly did. Look at his head, right into the blue zone. So he's in a very good position to see if the ball pitched in line, and it did. This of course having the benefit with the blue zone for us, but plumb in front, and a very good one.
On both the occasions, Maruf has induced the wicket, in the sense that he has taken the wicket. The batsman has not made any mistake. In fact, it is his bowling capabilities which has got him the wicket. He went through the Lakshman's defence this morning, and this time hit the pads of Irfan right in front of the wicket.
This time the away swinger. Got to do tricks with the old ball, but if you can do it both ways, in and out, you're going to test the batsman at all times. Squaring up Anil Kumble. Two slips for Maruf, 3 in the ring on the offside, saving single.
Twist down the leg side. Maruf looking for that in-curler into Kumble. When you have such a big open stance, the ball coming into you can always be a problem.
Just opening up a little bit on his front leg, Anil Kumble, at the time of stance. Wicket maiden for Parvez Maruf. It's 3:45 for 8, and it will be drinks.
Love cricket? Get coached by the legends. Ace Academy have set up development days where you can brush up on your cricketing skills. For £35, you can be coached by the best in cricket, including the likes of Mark Butcher, Darren Gough, Andrew Caddick, Usman Afzal, Vikram Solanki, Chris Lewis, Devon Malcolm, and many more.
The break is...
Development days will take place on the following days. The South, the Oval, 7th and 8th of January 2006. The North, Old Trafford, Manchester, 29th of January 2006. The Midlands, Trent Bridge, 25th and 26th of February 2006. These days are open to any age, both sexes and all standards. Call now for details on 0870 757 3132 or visit www.aceacademy.co.uk. There are no boundaries with ACE.
इंडियन आइडल बनने को बेताब 28 कंटेस्टेंट्स
पहली बार गाएंगे पियानो के साथ 12 दिसंबर से।
पर पहले गाएंगी लड़कियां।
लड़कियां क्यों?
पहले गाएंगे लड़के।
अमन लड़कियाँ।
मिनी लड़के।
लड़कियाँ।
चिल गाइस, अभी सॉल्व करता हूँ तुम लोगों का प्रॉब्लम।
ओके, टॉस का बॉस। लेट्स सी।
लड़के।
इंडियन आइडल सिर्फ सोनी एंटरटेनमेंट टेलीविजन एशिया पर।
Sponsored by ICICI Bank UK with free money transfer to India. And Bikaji Asli Bikaneri. And MDH Asli Masale Such. MDH.
Lakshman playing the anchor role, getting 100. Test match 100 for him. Then Mahendra Singh Dhoni 49. And Irfan Pathan was the last man dismissed for 82. 2 wickets to go today. First one, VVS Lakshman was knocked back by a great delivery from Maruf.
Excellent bowling by Maruf. Finding the gap between the bat and pad. Hits the leg stump. Good bowling. That was close. That was certainly close. It'll be interesting to see the replay on this occasion.
Again, Murli does get excited. He's turning a great deal. Even a decent stride can save the batsman.
No.
He wasn't really stretching on that occasion.
Second wicket to go today. Was it Pathan? We'll just come back to that. It's a pretty good innings from Pathan. And again, a good delivery from Maruf. I was very impressed with the decision of the umpire. There's no hesitation at all. Up went the finger and the right one.
I'm impressed with the way Maruf has bowled. Good areas.
Had to pitch in line, just getting very close to the stumps to make sure it happens. 2 good deliveries and 2 breakthroughs for Sri Lanka. He's played fine. Good commitment. Great work in the deep.
Good job by Maruf on the fine leg fence. He's been bowling quite a lot this morning, and this time there is no shot of any commitment. Excellent piece of fielding.
It was the dusra. It was a single not taken. 347 for 8. Very slow going as far as the Indians are concerned, but they picked up the wicket of Pathan. Relatively, 2 new batsmen at the crease. Agarkar on 15, Kumble not yet off the mark. The Indians will be quite happy playing time as well. The longer they play, the more the wear and tear. Last over, a few things happened. A couple of appeals against Agarkar. Just half stride. Inside edge again. Great take by Sangakkara.
That appeared extremely close to me. Kumble in 2 minds whether to play or not. Gets an inner edge.
The time he decided to withdraw from the shot, it was just a little too late.
No.
get a single, gets off the mark, Anil Kumble.
Agarkar batting on 15.
Good change of pace, good deception. I think Ajit Agarkar picked it up very late.
Nice roll on the ball this time. The seam and good change of pace. And again, in the right areas.
More like the slower delivery that Javagal Srinath's good old mate Venkatesh Prasad used to bowl.
That's certainly going down the leg side. That saved Ajit Agarkar. Yes, the slower one, I think. Venkatesh Prasad was probably the best bowler to bowl those balls from the back of his hand. And this is definitely going down the leg side.
Swinging towards the shiny side. But a missed leg stump by a long way. .348 for 8. And once again, Gautam Gambhir, the focus was on him, getting some big runs. Sehwag coming back into this test match, both of them just getting a start and getting out. Tendulkar got into the 20s, was trapped in front by Muralidharan. Yuvraj went for no score, great delivery, caught in the slips of Muralidharan. He's picked up 3 wickets so far, 32 overs, 4 maidens, 3 for 108 for Murali. He'll be up against another star spinner, Anil Kumble. Dilshan at silly point. So more attacking men for Anil Kumble. There's a man 3/4 in the deep mid defence as well.
I have a strong gut feeling that Anil will attack Murali at some point in time. And he has to.
There's a man at deep mid wicket for that lofted shot. Picked it up. Just plays it with soft hands. Will get the single. Always find the Dusra and the top spinners get the extra bounce because of the different kind of release. The back of the palm facing the batsman. So much overspin. There is the extra bounce. Nicely played. Difficult shot to execute against the turn. Ajit Agarkar right on top of that. The timing was just good enough to get to the fence. Also brings up the 350 for India.
Murali shot on this occasion, and although there was a bit of a turn into the batsman, but he had enough room to cut that ball, and he cuts it into the vacant point region for a 4. Good shot by Ajit Agarkar.